Hello friends, today we are going to continue chapter number 9, Fundamental Rights, Fundamental Duties and Directive Principle of State Policy, lecture number 5. Friends, up to now, in this chapter, we have discussed about the fundamental rights, human rights. We also discussed its importance, that why these rights are important. Why these rights have been incorporated in our constitution, as we discussed in the previous chapter as well, that constitution plays a very important role to govern any country. If we need a proper governing of any country, constitution should be proper. The government should follow each and every provisions of the constitution. We discussed that the part that is we are going to learn in this chapter, that is the fundamental rights, fundamental duties and the directive principle of state policy are the basic features of our constitution. Friends, we discussed that these human rights has been given to each and every citizen of the world. They can enjoy this right anywhere. Friends, these certain rights are given to each and every human being to make them all round development, to make their welfare. These human rights means each and every human being should get proper food, shelter, clothing, health, education, etc. Friends, we discussed that looking and taking the inspiration from these human rights, even our constitutional framers, they made fundamental rights for the welfare of the citizen of our country, and due to that reason, these fundamental rights are incorporated in our constitution and it gets a legal status. Friends, we discussed about the fundamental rights that we are having, each and every citizen of India is having 6 fundamental rights incorporated in our constitution. Right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation. We learned about right to the freedom of religion, right to cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. Friends, in the previous lectures, we discussed about the 4 rights in detail. We discussed about right to equality, in which we learned that each and every citizen of India is equal in the eye of law. Protection is given equally to each and every citizen of India. Each and every people are treated equally in our country. No discrimination is made with any kind of citizen of India on the basis of their caste, creed, religion, language, gender, etc. Each and every citizen are treated equally in our country. These rights can be enjoyed by each and every citizen for their equality. We discussed about the right to freedom, in which we discussed that under this right to freedom, our constitution has given 6 freedoms to each and every citizen, in which we discussed that we are having the freedom of speech and expression. We can assemble, gather anywhere peacefully without arms. We can move within any part of India. We can live and settle in any part of India. Also, we are free to do any kind of profession, any kind of work in our country. We can do any kind of business in our country. Friends, we are given certain freedom in our country. But along with this freedom, certain restrictions are also put as we are living in a society. Over here, in these rights, there are certain restrictions that we can enjoy this right to freedom only and up to. We are not spoiling the right of any other person. We discussed about right against exploitation, in which we discussed that these rights protects the exploitation in various forms that is been done with women, children or any other people. They can raise the voice against any kind of exploitation. We can see nowadays lots of exploitation is being done. No one here, according to this right, no people can do any kind of exploitation of the people like forced labor, low wages than the regular wages, making them work in unhygienic and unsafe environment. These then child labor, these are certain exploitation that is done, and we have the right against exploitation to raise our voice against any kind of such exploitation happening with us. So friends, we also discussed about the another right, that is right to freedom of religion, in which we discussed that each and every citizen are free to follow and adopt the religion of his own choice. We discussed that no discrimination is made with any kind of people on the basis of religion. They are free to do any kind of religious work, religious practice in our country. Friends, today we learn about another rights, then another two rights of our constitution that is left. Let us start by understanding another right, that is right to culture and educational right. Culture and educational rights. Culture and educational right. Cultural and educational rights, or we can also say right to education. Let us understand the fifth right, that is cultural and educational right, or we can say the right to education. Here it is said that these rights, if we talk about these rights, allows a person, whether belonging to any minority or majority to maintain its culture and obtain education about his culture and religion. Friends, here it is said these culture and educational right, right to education. This right allows a person, whether belonging to any minority or majority, to maintain, they can maintain their culture and obtain education that is related to their culture as well as their religion. Under this right, if we talk under this right, any citizen can get admission in any educational institution. They can get admission in any educational institution or a granted institution without getting discriminated on the basis of religion, caste, gender, etc. Here, each and every citizen gets the right to take admission in any kind of educational institution without any discrimination. Every citizen has the right to get admission. That means each and every people has got the right to get educated as well. Then the Indian Constitution also states, our Indian Constitution also states that religious and language minority group we have the right to start and they can also administer their own educational institutions. Friends, Indian Constitution also states that any religious and minority group also, if that people also wants to open their educational institution, then they can open their own educational institution. That as per their own will, they can start their own educational institution. Then it also states that no minority, it also states that no minority other than the one suggested in the article will have, other than the article, will also have the right to establish any institution. Here it said is also states that no minority other than suggested in the article. Only the minority group that are suggested in our constitution that can open the educational institution in our country. No other minority group that are not included in our constitutional articles, they cannot establish or they cannot start any kind of educational institution without the permission of the government. So here, friends, here it is clearly said that each and every people, each and every citizen of India are getting the right to educate. Each and every people are free to get education on their own will. As government has also to encourage this right to education, government has started 6 to 14 years free and compulsory education as well. So friends, these are the certain rights that a citizen gets under the cultural and educational rights. Each and every citizen are free to get education. They can get education without any discrimination of caste, creed or religion. Now let us understand about the last right, that is right to constitutional remedies. Now friends, the sixth and the last right, that is right to constitutional remedies. Let us understand the last right, the sixth right, that is right to constitutional remedies. Let us understand the right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies is the special feature of our constitution. It is the special feature of our constitution. This right gives the power to the citizens to go to the court. This right gives the power to the citizen to go to the court in case if he is deprived of any fundamental rights. If any of the fundamental right is deprived of any citizen, under this right to constitutional remedy, each and every citizen has the right to go to the court. If any of our rights is being exploited by any other person, if anyone breaks our right, then we have the right to approach to the court. Each and every people can approach to the court if any of the above 5 rights are broken by any other person. Dr. Ambedkar, if we talk about Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, considered this right as they consider as the soul of our constitution. As we all know, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar was the chairman of our drafting committee of our constitution. Means Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar played a very important role to draft our constitution. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar considered this right to constitutional remedy as the soul of our constitution. It is considered as the soul of our constitution. If a person is deprived or denied of any fundamental rights, of if the person is deprived or denied of any of his fundamental right, he can make use of this right. He can make use of this right and seek justice from the court. Here we said if a person is deprived or denied of any of the fundamental rights, then that person can use these rights, then right to constitutional remedies. He can approach to the court and get justice for himself. If a court finds that a person is deprived or denied, if the court finds that if a person is deprived or denied fundamental right of any of a fundamental right, then it can issue a writ. It can issue a writ. That is, we can say, a legal notice. That is, a legal notice to the one who is deprived, to the one who is depriving the person to his right. Means if the court finds, if that person is approaching to the court, the person who is denied or deprived from his court, and if he is approaching to the court, then if the court finds, then he will issue a writ, that is legal notice against the person who has conducted this crime, who has deprived the right of any particular person and can punish them. So this is the fundamental rights. Thank you.